building isn't 500 acres. It's because that would just be gigantic. Like I don't even know if a building that could even exist. But so
I think the grounds were 500 acres or
I think that's kind of what it meant. So
and they just had structures around,
they probably had stuff inside there too.
And, there were structures built around.
So basically, what you have is you have the temple, which is very tall. Because I think the tallest spire or the tallest part of it was like 70 feet. Mm-hmm. So a 7-story tall building. That's also pretty huge, especially when you're talking about 1100 AD. So you have this tall building that's supposed to represent Mount Meru. When that is kind of like a so basically, this is going to sound ridiculous, but this is the easiest way to say it. Mount Meru is like the Mount Olympus of Hindu culture. So this is the mountain where all the gods live and rule from. So Mount Meru is the temple. Mm-hmm. Then you have the walls outside, which represent the mountains surrounding Mount Meru. And then on the complete outskirts of the entire city, you have a moat, a huge moat. And that was supposed to represent the oceans on the edge of the world. So that's kind of... Now, it's hard to say. It was a long time ago. But that's what it is widely believed to be their thought process. It was supposed to be symbolic as on top of serving its own purpose as being a temple and mausoleum. So this was no short thought process in designing this building. What's cool about Angkor Wat too is it's also built in it's kind of like Kramer built it from Seinfeld because it's all levels. It's all levels. I mean, you can be in like one courtyard and just take these steps up to another area where there's another courtyard. Because I think they said there was 3 main levels, but just easy access all the way around because they could kind of like the pyramids that they were built like with like a staircase kind of thing. You can just get up anywhere at any time. But what's the most incredible thing about this structure is that if you ever look at close up on the parts of the walls, every single wall, it seems like, has engravings of like pictures on them. Mm-hmm. It's like there's no part of this building where you look at a wall and it's just flat sandstone. Every single bit of it has like people or gods, whatever. Yeah. But it has a lot of historical and religious depictions,
right?
So that it's just that much more incredible because you have all these. Because actually, that's another thing that came up was there was one explorer or whatever. I probably don't have that name. I don't think it's relevant to the trivia aspect of it. But he said this is unlike anything that Rome or Greece has brought us. Mm-hmm. This is a completely different animal. I mean, because when you think of, you might find a wall that has some painting on it or whatever. Like, look at the Colosseum. Not every bit of that is super detailed. It has a lot of detail on it, but not every inch. But that's what it seems like this one is, which is just incredible. That the amount of work that went into this. I mean, we're talking 300. I think I saw 300,000 workers were working on this.
Wow, and
that's just amazing. And then you think about the spires. Each spire is shaped like a lotus petal. Not one bit of this was not thought out and being heavily decorated. In fact, on the inside of one of the walls, because there's like a bunch of walkways all around it with the columns and stuff, and apparently like the entire way around it is like one big battle scene. Because once Angkor was established, I mean, and you had Jayavarman II in charge, and all these kings, they might be Khmer Empire, but there's still a lot of wars going on, a lot of battles. It wasn't just peace all the time.
Right.
So there was, just because they were a peaceful people beforehand, now they had to hold their empire. But from what I understand, they weren't, because I think we talked about this with the Colossus of Rhodes, I believe. This was, I think that was actually the Punic Wars, that you have Rome, who was very sophisticated with their land warfare, but Carthage, I think, was more naval-oriented. But here, you have the Khmer people who weren't really well-versed in projectile weaponry, no bows. It was pretty much, here's your spear, here's your shield, see you later. So they weren't really well-versed in combat.
Right.
Which is weird, because they were super civilized and super industrious, able to make all this incredible structures or anything else. But, that's the one thing they were really good at it.
Maybe they were better at getting along than others.
Maybe, but they still had a lot of people not happy with them. But which unfortunately is kind of the reason for the downfall of the city. After a while, they had to move the entire temple, the entire city, the entire capital to Angkor Thom, Thom, which was a separate other place. I mean, that could be another topic. I don't know. But the primary thing that's going to come up about Angkor is Angkor Wat, the temple that still exists, or that still stands. But after they were driven out, which they were attacked by Vietnam, Siam, and Thai forces. And I think it was Thailand or the Thai forces that were eventually, or with their last hurrahs or whatever it was. So
those TIE fighters will get you.
Those TIE fighters. Did I say TIE fighters?
No.
Oh man, that was opportunity wasted. But anyway, so yeah, that goes, and then pretty much the entire city is sacked, and now it's pretty much forest. Takes over a majority of it because it just got kind of. That's why I'm saying
it looks like even the grounds are overgrown with trees a little bit.
It's completely the city itself is completely lost.
Yeah,
so if you might be going through a forest and see a nice or a cool wall that exists from something, but a complete structure probably not.
Which is crazy because I think you alluded to it, but it does say on Live Science that the city Angkor was the largest city in the world until the Industrial Revolution. So they were big.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, it was gigantic.
They had over 1 million people population. Yep. So it was the biggest city.
Yeah, it's incredible. But it always takes a backseat. You never hear about Angkor, the city. You hear about all these other ancient cities and modern cities at the time.
But they were really the largest.
Yeah, this was it. And it's just incredible. And so, unfortunately, when they got driven out, Buddhists ended up taking over the temple and using it for their own reasons and their own practice. And like I said before, it kind of got taken care of from here and there, but primarily just lost. And they're actually working on it now because I think UNESCO actually put something in for it to help restore it. It was a very dangerous
the National Heritage Site.
Yeah, it was, but then it got because it was it was listed on the National Heritage Site that's in danger, but now it's not. I guess they've been taking good care of it, but just because another thing which is interesting is that there's always been people living near it. It's never been lost. It's always been there. They've always known exactly where it's at. There've been people living around it the entire time.
Yeah,
it's never been completely.
Probably squatters been inside.
Yeah, I mean, probably. But I even saw one article that said, bat poop and not being taken care of, and is how the
it was
substance,
abandoned. Yeah,
it just kind of erodes and everything else. But just people living by it, expanding their living areas. I mean, it could take damage on it.
Does guano harm?
I can't imagine you put crap on anything and it just helps it. I imagine it's got to eat something away. It's waste. It's not going to be good for it. I doubt it. And if anything, it's going to make maybe act as a fertilizer and things are going to grow. I mean, it's not going to be good for it. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible. Anyway, yeah, you can still go see it today. It's north, I think, of the Cambodian city of Siem Reap.
Yeah,
Siem Reap, I believe is what the city is. You can go there, and they have pretty constant tourism shuttles going there or whatever. So
yeah, it says 2 million tourists a year, but now they put limitations for visitors allowed at certain times.
They're trying to preserve it as best as they can because it's going to get wiped out.
Yeah,
if it's seeing as much traffic as it does now. But yeah, absolutely incredible story and everything else.
I found a really fun fact.
Awesome, I love it.
So Paramount Pictures paid $10,000 a day to film in the temple Ta Prohm for the 2001 film Lara Croft Tomb Raider. And after filming in Cambodia, Cambodia. That's when Angelina Jolie made the decision to adopt her Cambodian son, Maddox.
Cambodian? Did you say Cambodian again?
Did I say it
again? You did. Cambodian.
Nope.
Forget, how is it possible?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's cool because I always wondered where that began because she just started adopting like crazy after that.
Actually, another fun fact, which I didn't understand, but Cambodia in the 1900s was ruled by France.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, but
weren't you looking for the name
of
an explorer?
As was Vietnam, I think.
He was.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Cambodia was a big part of the Vietnam War. There was a lot of.
Was it Henry Muhot?
Oh, the explorer.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was a French explorer.
Yeah.
I saw this one thing, man. Oh my god! I kept saying, "Oh, when the French discovered it, it never needed to be discovered. It was always discovered." Right. I don't know what they're talking about this, but when the French discovered it for themselves,
Right? Maybe.
Well,
That's
Columbus discovered America.
right. But that's also wrong. I mean, if you really think about it,
Well, of course it is.
right? So it's
There
like
were natives living
people
here
need to
long
stop.
before
Yeah,
that.
people need to stop doing that. But yeah, it was what was his name?
Henry Mouhot?
How you spell it?
Mouhot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it says he discovered it in 1860,
Yeah,
but he died of a fever in Laos.
yeah. I believe he got he was bit by a insect that poisoned. It was
Yeah, and
bad
it
poisoning
says
or something like that. Like
The only way people learned about the temples was in his writings that were published after he died.
yeah, he played a part in kind of getting the word back out.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also it's crazy. Like there's not a whole lot written about it, and there was I think it was a Chinese diplomat that was there in one year, and they kind of found his journal, but people kind of think that he was maybe exaggerating in some parts, so it may not have been a great study piece.
Right.
And it's crazy. I mean, I've heard this name thrown around a lot, but I never knew what it actually was.
It's incredible. I wish that somehow we can find a way to see that city in its full glory.
I mean, it's beautiful. The pictures they have is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous piece of art or architecture. So.
All right. Well, let's.
I would see the Hanging Gardens if I could see anything.
Problem is, we don't know if the Hanging Gardens existed or not.
That's why I want to see them.
Okay,
reason.
we've decided to let you
It's
see
a
whatever you
ficus.
want. Yeah, you just
It was all fake.
it's a bunch of ficuses.
Just one ficus.
One ficus. Okay.
All right. Well,
Hanging.
before I go on any further to expose one of our weaknesses in great detail.
By the way, Rachel, if you can look, I just want to make sure that just in case it comes up for someone watching or for someone in trivia, Angkor is not the capital of Cambodia. It was a capital of modern day Cambodia a long
Is
time
Hanoi
ago.
in Cambodia?
Oh, I can't think of it.
Is it
Paham? Penhen?
Oh, it's Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Yeah,
Phnom
that's how it's
Penh?
pronounced.
Okay, there you go.
Not too shabby. Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Stop saying Cambodia. You're gonna,
Well, I did that on purpose.
I know you are, but still.
Or did she?
Yeah, who knows?
We'll never know.
Sorry, Jeff.
All right. Well, back to our geography lesson.
North
I know
America.
you guys have been just dying to get into this.
Oh, I couldn't wait.
I'm actually going to talk about Central America, which is the thin section of land that links North America continent to the South American continent.
It is.
Geographically,
Is that why it's called Central? Because it's in the center?
I'm going to punch you.
Please do. Geographically, it's part of North America. Central America is. And it's made of 7 small, mostly tropical countries that have much more in common with South America and Mexico than the more affluent North.
It does seem like there's a pretty massive disconnect between North America
Oh, yeah.
and Central America.
Oh, yeah.
So there's 7 countries. Now, to expose our ignorance, do you guys know what those 7 countries are? I mean, they're like so
the
far
one
away
that,
from
the one
us.
that connect.
Yes. And
I
the ones
know.
that are... Mexico is sometimes considered part of Central America, but the actual Central American countries, there's 7 of them.
I know
there's-
Panama.
there's Panama.
There.
Panama is one.
That's the one. I know.
Nicaragua,
Yes.
Belize,
Yes.
Honduras.
Honduras,
Yes.
That's
Guatemala.
What?
Guatemala.
Yep.
Guatemala.
You
Guatemala.
guys are up to 5. That's that you have definitely hit the over of what I would have chose.
Oh man.
Lebanon.
What?
You are in the wrong.
You're in the wrong continent, buddy.
I guess it would be South
Stop.
America.
Don, just stop embarrassing yourself.
El
Okay.
Salvador.
Why? That's what we
Oh,
do.
El Salvador. There
El
you go.
Salvador is
Costa
6.
Rica.
And Costa Rica.
I'm reading
And
it
I'm
now.
guessing somebody's cheating over here.
I'm actually reading them.
It's like, no way you came up with El Salvador on
I
your
had
own.
Panama.
You should see the real name of El Salvador. It's the longest name in the ever.
Oh, really?
Ever.
I doubt that.
Central America makes up most of the tapering isthmus that separates the Pacific Ocean to the west. You got the Caribbean on the east. It's an arc of roughly 1,140 miles. Goes from northwest to southeast. At its narrowest point, the isthmus is only 30 miles wide.
Wow.
And there is no location inside of Central America that is more than 125 miles away from one of the seas. Either
That's
from
crazy.
Yeah, it's
Pacific
very
Ocean or the
narrow.
Caribbean Sea. Yeah, it is. Humid swamps and lowlands extend along both the west and east coast, but 4/5 of the Central America is either hilly or mountainous. Mostly down towards the middle. The elevation steadily increases west of the Caribbean lowlands. until towards the Pacific coast. The plateau highlands culminate in mountain ridges and some 40 volcanic cones, which you're probably aware of.